This is the Synco Mic-E10, really good buy. Hi, this is a condenser microphone and it's got a cardioid pattern. It's a great budget mic because it retails around about £50 in the UK, comes with its own little foamy. It's not a bad looker, that's what it actually looks like. It's got a switch that mutes the sound, actually that activates the battery, but also when you've got 48 volts phantom power on, it activates the sound. So it's got a mute on it, which is quite nice. It doesn't stand out if you want to use it handheld. It comes with a clip and also it comes with a lead, and at the other end of this lead is not an XLR but a 3.5mm stereo jack plug. It's not actually stereo though, because what you get is dual mono, which means that your audio is going to be centered when you put it straight into your camera, and this can be used direct into the camera with just the battery power. So it's really good option. One interesting thing about this mic is it has a built-in high pass filter, and it cuts off at -12 dB per octave from 180 Hz. It has a frequency response of 50 Hz to 18 kHz. Sensitivity is quoted as -35 dB. Signal to noise ratio is quoted as 75 dB. The really interesting thing about this microphone is that it runs from 48 volt phantom power as well as a AA battery, so that makes it really good for portable use. The maximum SPL at 48 volts phantom power is 130 dB, and with a battery it's at 115, so it's perfectly usable with a battery. This is the sound of the Synco Mic-E10 being used with 48 volts phantom power going into it. This microphone's handy in that it uses 48 volts, but you could also put a battery inside it, a AA battery, and it'll work from either. But this is the sound with 48 volts. Interestingly enough, when you do use it with 48 volts phantom power, you do still have to switch the microphone on, so it's got a mute on it. So that switch is not just the battery switch, it's also the sound switch. So if I get the switch now and I turn the switch off, it went off. Did you see? I spoke. Hang on, I'll turn it off now, and there we're off. And now put the sound back on again. Don't know if that produces some kind of popping when it comes on and off, but this is the sound that you would get if you gave it the full power 48 volts. So this is the sound from the front, sound from the side, this is the sound from the rear, back to the side, and this is the front again. And this is the handling noise. In case you want to take it out and use it handheld, if you give it a bit of stick, that's what you're going to get. But with normal handling, I would say this is more like this. If you just sort of shift your movement, you move on the handle just a little bit, that's what you're going to get. But it's a nice little microphone, so that if you're going to use it handheld, at least it doesn't really show that much. It's quite nice because it's a slim, easy going mic. Now, if I just take the pop filter off, the foamy. Just took it off very carefully. That's the sound with the foamy removed, just in case this thing is having an effect on the sound. Of course, if you're going to use this like this outside, it's going to be difficult because of wind noises, etc. But indoors, it just might make a little bit of difference. You never know. With these foamies, it's quite curious. Some of them do affect the sound a bit, and others you don't notice. But this is the sound of the microphone without the foamy on top. Put it back again. And this is the sound of the microphone with the foamy on. You just feel a bit safer when you're talking with a microphone and there's a foamy there as well, to be honest. But generally, I try to talk over microphones, not smack into them, because you can get a lot of plosives that way. So let's now try it with the battery. This is the sound of the Synco Mic-E10 being used on just a AA battery, and that makes it really convenient because you can just plug it straight into the camera and use it just as like a dynamic microphone, because it's just using the power from the battery. It's not using power from your camera, so it won't suck away power from there. And this is the sound of it from the front, this is the sound from the side, this is the sound from the rear, back to the side, and this is the front again. And it's got quite a crispy sound. I thought when I first heard this, I thought it's a pretty crispy sound, and I actually used it for a voiceover on one of my videos quite easily. It's quite easy to use, and it was very low in noise. I was quite surprised how low the noise is. In fact, it's possible that the lighting system I have here is producing more noise than the microphone, but this is the sound just on a battery. So this is a great budget mic. It's only £50 and it's a nice little package, but even better, the microphone itself does have this nice sort of crisp sound. It's not boomy, and you get a nice crisp clear audio from it. So I've even used it for a voiceover at one point in one of my videos, because I took some video outside by the pond and it was so noisy and the wind was bashing my microphones. I brought the footage home and I literally just plugged this in to a recorder on battery power, switched it on and did a voiceover for that video. So, and that video was one of the Canon ones, which is probably coming up or has just gone past, but it's by the pond where I just spoke into this. It's a great option, and for that kind of money I don't really think you can do much better than this. So the Synco Mic-E10 is one we don't hear much about. I haven't seen much about this at all, but it really is a nice little microphone. Hope you enjoyed the video and I hope to see you next time. Cheers for now.